Hey friends, it's Rabbi Jenny Solomon here at Beth Myers Synagogue. Happy to be with you for this Mincha moment. So we are in the midst of the Torah cycle in which we are beginning a new book of the Torah, Devarim, Deuteronomy. And this Torah portion is always read the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, when we mourn the destruction of both of the temples in Jerusalem and really so many of the tragedies that have befallen the Jewish people. So in this book of Deuteronomy, in this opening Torah portion, as we always say in Judaism, we follow the words, we follow the language. And the word for turning, the root is pe nun he, fana. That root word is used 7 times, which is, of course, a symbolic number. It's a number of wholeness. It's a number of completion, of emphasis. And it comes up again and again in this Torah portion, this idea of turning, because after all, God says to the Jewish people, Rav lechem, you have stayed in this place long enough. It's too long, and it's time to turn, to get up and move. So of course, life is filled with turning points, all kinds of turning points, things that happen to us, things that we choose, directions that we choose to take. But this season in particular is one in which we're beginning to feel the momentum to move and to turn. And I know for many of you, like for me, the summer also gives us a little bit more spaciousness to reflect on where it is we're going and how we might consider turning. So hopefully you have had some vacation time or you have some vacation time upcoming. I am just getting off of a period of vacation, which was incredibly sweet and full. Eric and I hiked and spent a lot of time in nature and ate well and laughed and cried and listened to good music and thought about complicated questions and interesting ideas and dreamed ahead to our High Holy Day sermons. But most of all, we spent time thinking about where we've been and where we're going, the turning points that we can look back on in the year that's passed, the places that we missed the mark, the places where at this time called This Is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared, really weaves together the holiday season. But instead of beginning at Rosh Hashanah, the new year, he starts with Tisha B'Av, really with this week's Torah portion, Devarim, leading up to Tisha B'Av, and paints a beautiful arc that begins with the destruction, the painful destruction of the temple, and will end as we dismantle the Sukkah at the very end of Sukkot. But what he does, I think, so powerfully is he invites us to experience the holidays not just as something we do out there, some place that we go, some set of mitzvot that we do out in the world, and those are important, but that all of these themes, the movement that takes place not only at these powerful junctures, but the movement even in between these holidays is a sacred dance. And it's a dance that happens on the inside when we stop to really listen to our lives and examine where we are, where we've been, where we want to go. And someone once taught me, when you shift, it's very hard to turn an about face, to turn all the way around. Very, very hard. But what is much easier is actually just to shift a couple of degrees. And anyone who has shot an arrow or anything else for that matter, or who's experimented with a slight shift knows that to alter your aim even by a couple of degrees, or if you're practicing yoga, to shift your alignment even ever so slightly can create an entirely different experience. The trajectory is totally different. So I'm thinking a lot about turning and shifting and figuring out how I want to orient to the year ahead. This is the perfect time to do that as we linger through the remaining hot and muggy days of summer. So I look forward to joining you on your journeys of turning, knowing that we're not meant to get stuck, and we need each other to move forward in strength, in courage, and in peace. Shalom, everyone.